That's the beauty about that. Yeah.
Beauty of it. So so you kind of go in the right direction of what I want to talk about today. It's sort of planned is around a little bit around like strategic life planning. And so I got a handful of bullet points here, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on sort of each one, right? And so with happy hour is sort of the theme for today, right? Strategically planning our lives to make sure that they're happy, to make sure that we're living in a fulfilled way is sort of what I figured that we could talk about a little today. And so let me just kick off with asking you, like, are there things that you strategically do to make sure that you are planning to have a happy and a fulfilled life?
When we say happy, there's for some reason there are two different things for me: happy and fulfilled. So happy is what I'm already in. That's what I was saying to my friends. One of my friends yesterday, as we was taking a walk, and I was like, my happy is a lot of different. It's different from a lot of people because their happy is stuck to that one tool of money, and I'm like, I mean that's pretty big, but to me it's just like it's a it comes and it goes. But as far as inner peace, having a happy family, having a job that I can just go to where I'm not like, I know I'm needed, but if it comes down to I need a break or it's some time off, I'm happy there. I'm happy with my as the progression that I'm making. I'm overly happy because as long as I'm learning something that I never knew or learning something new, I'm always happy. And then the other side of being like fulfilled, that's what makes me think of like how other people would view it.
Okay.
So fulfillment would
Yeah.
be like the three you were talking about.
Okay. Cool. I'm with you. I'm with you. So what's interesting there, first thing you started talking about money. I was watching some interviews this past week where a guy interviews elderly people around their life and around any regrets that they may have had, and what's the most important thing, this, that, and the other, their beliefs. And one of the biggest answers were that a belief they said that they had when they were growing up versus what they have when they're older is how money is not as important as they thought. Was that they thought money was going to buy them happiness. Whereas now, when they're like in their 90s, they realize looking back, yeah, money is important because it factors stresses. But as long as if a bill comes in, they can pay it and they have food, that's the cap of the importance really of money for them. The rest so much goes around relationships, truly relationships, like how you make people feel, who you have around you. And so a cool, um, what's the word? Not an assignment, a cool like practice, I guess, that you can try, everybody can try, is to think about like if you're on your deathbed and you're looking back at your life and now you are tasked with writing your own obituary. You know what an obituary is,
Mhm.
right? And so it's like if the newspaper was going to come out, newspapers aren't really that a thing anymore, but it's like this past week, Wayne Veldsman has died. And then it starts to talk about like what he's remembered for, right? It's like Wayne was a shining light of positivity in this world. He not only spent his time in the outdoors, loving outdoor recreation. He spent his time pouring into others, helping uplift others, helping others to live a fulfilled and happy life as well. And so you write this obituary of yourself as far as like you just died. And like, what do you want to be remembered for? How do you want to be remembered, right? Not necessarily your accomplishments. You can add that in there as well, right? Accomplishments of like, built a huge business or, traveled a lot, whatever these things. But like, how did you make people feel? And by looking at this, like, sort of from the end backwards, right? Now I'm dead. How am I remembered? What are people writing down about who I was, how I made them feel? Then we can start to realize that today we need to start to take the actions to make that ending picture a reality.
Okay. I heard something similar before. It probably was off your podcast or YouTube video about working from the backwards, the end backwards. I think that's pretty interesting. I'm just gonna get out of practice probably today to work on my new page to go with what we're talking about today. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And then the happy and fulfilled sounds great as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do different things as well. So actually, that would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Right. And what's interesting, I think a lot of times you don't realize that it's like your how you think that other people perceive you, what other people think about you, right? It's this funny two-way sword of like, one, we shouldn't really care what others think about us, right? But if what I just said, right, writing your own obituary, how do other people remember you? What do they remember you for? At the same time, you can now that actually you're going to pull out what matters to you most, right? Because what matters to me the most, that's what I want to be remembered for. That's how I want to be remembered. That's what I want other people to think about me. Is that like I was a loving and a caring person, that I was an active, upbeat, energetic person. I was dedicated to helping others. And those are the things that equal fulfillment in my
Yeah.
life. And if I actually if I do those things, which equals that's how people are going to remember me, that's going to equal happiness and fulfillment for myself also. Right.
Yep. Well, so
Right. And so I think that's a really great place to start is this obituary story to write yourself, right? And now let's go all the way back to present day. A lot of people, they have this ideal, they can conceptualize this ideal piece of themselves, right? Like I want Wayne ran his own businesses, right? Or he was a loving person. He cared about others. He spent time with his family. But then when they look at today, they're so far away from that ideal person. And a lot of people don't know how to get there. And so, give me your definition of what a growth mindset is.
Growth mindset is a personal and well, your personal deep desire to want more than what you kind of originally were. Let me see. To growth mindset. Wow, it's my first time writing a definition for this.
Yeah.
Actually,
All good. I'll add one more piece that'll maybe help you. So a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset.
mm, one that is like it's personal deep desire. Uh, that's why I'm stuck right there right now. Personal deep desire.
All good. All good. First off, I have to say I love how much you write stuff down. Like that is so important.
I'm just
Like
starting this. Don't too much weight. Don't give me too much weight. I just
no,
started
dude, keep
this.
keep it up, dude. The amount of notebooks that I have, my coffee's on top of another one, dude. The amount of literally just constant notebooks. It's like such a key. So keep it up. And so I'll fixed mindset versus a growth mindset, right? At the
Yes.
simplest base is a growth mindset is the mindset of or the idea of the understanding of that I can change. As simple as that. A fixed mindset is the idea that I can't change. I am who I am. I know what I know, right? My beliefs are my beliefs. I'm I'm essentially I'm done. I have been created. I am who I am. These are the people that just go through life never do anything, and unfortunately, they just end up dying, right? Growth mindset, you and I believe in continuous learning. Understand that, you know what? If I can see my own flaws, I have the strong ability. I know that I can go change these flaws. I can work on them. I can grow. I can change. That's the difference. Fixed mindset and growth mindset, right? You follow me? Making sense?
Yes. We're there.
Cool.
So
So
it was
go ahead, give me
the
your thoughts.
continuous. It was the continuous learning. I was stuck. I'm trying to find a word for that. It's like a continuous learning, a continuous, a deep desire to continuously learn, versus uh, a closed-minded uh, mindset. Well, closed-minded,
Yeah.
a closed mind.
Yeah. Fixed. Right.
Oh,
And you can obviously use whatever words you want to, but yeah, I think like the general terms are fixed. Yeah. And so it's not even just the continuously learning, right? It's the I believe that I can continuously learn. It's the belief that I can change, right? Like
okay.
you're so far past that that you're now this point of like continuously always learning, always changing, which I love, right? That's where I'm at also. But the reason why I bring this up is because we started with this long-term vision, this obituary that we're writing about our ideal selves, right? But some people, now when we rewind back to today, this is so far out of reach, out of grasp. And some people have this fixed mindset that they don't believe they can change. They see this and they're like, huh, yeah, that'd be cool, but that's not me. They believe this is me. This is all I am. I can't change. Huh, that'd be awesome, but no, that's not me. So, how do we change from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? Is the question, right? Just that simple shift of I believe the fixed, I can't change, to growth of I believe I can change. And then once you believe you can change, then you can start learning and start taking the steps to end up being this ideal person when you die, how you remembered, right? And so it doesn't 100% relate to you because you already sort of passed that. But I think a really cool exercise, a really simple one that I didn't come up with. I'm trying to remember where I learned it. Um, but it is to write a fictional story, a fake story about yourself overcoming an obstacle and successfully overcoming it. Because these people with a fixed mindset believe that if there's this obstacle that I come to and I don't know how to solve it, I'm screwed. Because they don't believe in growth, right? They don't believe that they can learn, that they can overcome. And so I put a podcast episode about this out like a couple months ago. And so essentially, you're just going to write a story, something along the lines of one sunny day, I was out for a drive, right? Beautiful drive. And the next thing I know, I get a flat tire. Oh my goodness, I've never gotten a flat tire before. I don't know how to change a tire. Woe is me, what do I do? But to my own surprise, I decided that I was going to overcome this challenge and figure it out. So I went to my phone and I YouTubed how to change a tire, what to do when I get a flat tire. I watched the videos, I read some comments, and 30 minutes later, I had successfully changed my own tire. I had learned how, changed my tire, and I was on my way. And so you write this story, right? Where it's this fake story, where in the story, you have now learned, you have now changed. In the story, you have a growth mindset. By doing this, this was a podcast episode that I listened to also from some neuroscientist. They did tons of studies and tests on this. By writing one story like this, they tracked people for like it was like 20 or 30 years. And literally they traced it back to that one story, changed them from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, essentially for the rest of their lives.
Oh a story, Wayne. All right, it's down.
Yeah. At the end of the day, right? All we believe is the stories that we tell ourselves.
True.
And so
True.
by telling yourself a story of I can change, I'm writing a story about I can grow, I can overcome challenges. Now you're actually starting to believe I can grow, I can change, I can overcome challenges.
Through a scenario that hasn't happened, but if you were given the chance to do a story, how that would look for you, you basically just open the door to them, to their to their mindset.
Right?
Yes. Oh man, that's good. That's good right there. It's
And so
good, Wayne.
these are sort of like the two spectrums, right? That I think is a great place to start at. Like work from the end in mind, and then the beginning, right? Let's break this initial problem of what if people with fixed mindset. And so now we have the opportunity to grow. So let's touch on a couple other points now here that are in the middle, right? Of beautiful. Now we believe that we can grow. How do we reach this ideal self? Right? A couple simple things. I know this is kind of broad, but does anything come to your mind of like what are some actions that one can take? What are some practices that you can do? Something to help with this overarching idea, right? Of like we're strategically creating our ideal life. Any thoughts?
Mm, too sure to try to pinpoint. It's kind of like slowing it down to like chop it up to not bullet points, but chronological order. I'm always difficult. It's always difficult for me for that because of past life, but I have to get that some thought.
All good. No, all good. Like I said, I know it's a pretty broad question, putting on you on the spot. So we'll do. I'll just hit two pretty simple points that I think a lot of people have heard of, but they probably don't understand like how much of a difference it makes. The first one, which is a fun exercise for people, is creating a vision board. Right? Are you familiar with what a vision board is?
Yes, yes, sir.
Beautiful. So I like to use Canva. It's a free graphic, quote unquote, graphic design tool, Canva. Super easy. You're essentially just going to go to Google and you're going to search for images of stuff that you want to do in your life, right? Thinking again now, this obituary that I wrote, what was the type of person that I was? What did I accomplish? Search for images that represent that written obituary. Myself, what I said earlier, right, is I helped people. So maybe I'll literally put an image on there of like a guy helping an old lady cross the street, something like that. I love the outdoors. So my vision board has stuff like scuba diving on it or like riding motorcycles. Beautiful. Same thing on the vision board. I have like a skyscraper. I've always had this idea of like, well, somebody owns and builds skyscrapers. Why can't it be me? Right? Oh, put a skyscraper on there, or put a cool car that you want to see in your future, or a house, or even just a picture of a loving family on this vision board, right? And so this is something then that you can look at day in, day out, every single week. It's going to keep pushing you forwards to like, these are my wants and desires in life, and it's going to keep you on the correct path, right? So if you start to stagnate in life, you just day in, day out, you're doing the exact same thing. Well, now this vision board can be a reminder of, you know what? That's my ideal self. That's my ideal life right there. That's why I need to take action today to be able to have that tomorrow. Simple, right? Have you ever created a vision board, done something like that?
We did one at like a very very small business workshop where it was like, yeah, we got these magazines out and stuff like that. Oh my god, when we was young, it
Love
was
it.
see in elementary they slick. put that in there when we was school with the kids. They gave you all the magazines and stuff. You was like, okay, yeah, just put everything that you like on the thing. I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, that was my first vision board.
Yeah.
Sneaky. But other than that one, like I said, the very small workshop we had, me, my wife, a friend, and his wife were at their business, and it was creating vision boards there, and we just pieced up a quick one while they from their leftovers and magazines and stuff like that.
Love
I
it.
believe the other one, but I did it about 2 or 3 times.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. You thinking back, I think I did something like that in school also. And like
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't actually pieced those two things together, but that's literally what it is, right? Like it's such a
Yeah.
simple thing, but it's like such a factually powerful thing. Because also, what we think about, we we see more of, we bring more of in our life. Tony Robbins has this exercise where we could do it now, but we're gonna get chopped in 10 minutes here. Tony
Thanks,
Robbins
man.
has this exercise where he says, all right, ready? He says, close your eyes. And now when you open your eyes, I'm going to give you 10 seconds and you're going to look around the room and you're going to look for things that are blue. Have you ever heard this before?
Never heard of
Cool. You're gonna look around the room and look for things that are blue. Beautiful. And then he says, go, and you look around, you said blue, 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 blue. He says, all right, and stop, close your eyes. All right, tell me everything in the room that was red.
it.
And now all of a sudden you're like, I got no clue. Because the point is what we are thinking about, what we are looking for, we get more of. We see, we find. And so if you have this vision in your mind of the world is bad, the world is bad, you're seeing bad, 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 bad. Versus if you think about, let me go look for what's good, what's positive in this world, you're going to see what's
Hold
good,
on, wait, I'm
what's
looking.
it might be my internet a little bit also, bro.
I got a phone call. Jesus, come on, y'all.
It's okay. I can still hear you.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay,
Gosh.
cool, cool, cool. All good, man. All good, all good. No stress, right? One focused breath in, one simple focused breath out, and we're here, right? We're present. But anyway, so that's what it is, right? So if you are focused on bad, you're going to see bad. If you're focused on good, you're going to see good. So if you're focused on bad, you're going to miss the good. And that goes along the lines for absolutely everything, right? So if we are looking for opportunity in life, we're going to find opportunities. We're going to find more opportunities. And so like that's just like a simple funny exercise of like if you're looking for blue, you're going to find blue, but you're going to miss the red. Kind
Oh,
of
yeah,
unique,
that
right?
very,
So it's the same thing with this
very.
vision board, right? So if you keep your goals, these things on your mind, the vision board, you're going to see more of that. You're going to attract more of that into your life, right? Which is a great thing to do. So it's simple, but it factually works. And
Never
then
written the vision.
yeah, dude, it's awesome. It's a fun time also. It's honestly a great time. And then the last piece of the puzzle, right? We're creating our strategically creating our ideal life here. Has to do with actually taking action, right? Vision boards are great, but if you don't actually do stuff, you're going to see it, right? It's going to attract more into your life. But if you don't take action to go out and get it and grasp it, you're going to miss it. And so, what I suggest everybody does is weekly and daily planning, right? And I have a PDF. I'll happily send it to you. Um,
Mm.
but writing it down is the best way, in my personal opinion, on how to do things. I'll show you this. I'll see how clearly it comes across. But super simple. I divide this page into 6 blocks: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. Over here on the other side, you just write down all of your to dos. All your to dos. These are notes over here, so don't worry about that. Your to dos, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. Simple. And I suggest to put not just business stuff on it as well. I think I may have frozen here a little bit, so hopefully you'll catch up with me here in a second. But I'm just going to keep going here for time purposes. You with me? I think I froze for a little while. Just to keep rolling here.
Mm-hmm.
Your outline, right? All your
Yeah.
to-dos, not just necessarily business stuff either. Like what else do you want to do prioritize for like family and for yourself as well? So on your to-do side, putting stuff like working out, going on walks, right? Having dinner with my family. Put that stuff on there. All your to-dos, including then all your work meetings, right? And new projects that you want to undertake. And once you have that list of to-dos, you're just going to go allocate them, go pop them in to Monday, pop them into Tuesday, to Wednesday, to Thursday, to Friday, to Saturday, right? You really want no more than like 3 solid tasks per day. But then, of course, the time with family, right? You're putting all that stuff in there. And now by planning ahead our whole week, right? We wrote down everything we got to do. Now we plan ahead our whole week. It's going to help us to actually move forward and make progress. Instead of every day we go sit at our desk and we say, well, now what? What am I going to do today? What do I need to do today? And now you're wasting this time trying to think it through. And like you're going to start missing stuff. You're not prioritizing things, right? But by at the beginning of every week, on like a Sunday evening, or I honestly do first thing Monday morning, I'll sit, I'll write down all my to-dos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'll start to allocate. That way I know I am busy strategically planning my life to make sure that I am accomplishing tasks. I'm taking action so that I can achieve that vision board and so that I can achieve that obituary that I wrote for myself because I already know I have a growth mindset. And so now let me take the actions to achieve this end result.
Yes. That was very strategic. Very strategic there. From minutes to weeks to days to weeks to the obituary. Yes. That's I like that. I like that. Got me some work to do.
There you go. And most of it's fun. Most of it's fun work, right? What three out of those, other than the very last thing, all of them are creative works, right? It's literally like, oh man, who do I want to be at the end of my life? Let me write a nice little story of I'm dead. Who am I remember, right? And then the beginning one's like, oh, let me write another story. And then it's like, oh, let me go create a fun little vision board and all the stuff. And then, of course, what makes the biggest difference, what really matters, taking action. But, simple
Yes.
steps that will guarantee if we follow through with all this stuff, right? The follow through, week in, week out, follow through. These steps will guarantee that we create the life that we want.
I love it. I'm loving it. Because you want to give me some ideas to be able to, because like I told you, I want to do the life coach thing as well and practice the psychology and stuff like that. Get me back in that creative mindset. Because like I said, we just had a, man, it was pretty crazy.
Look, man, it happens. It
It's just
happens.
crazy.
Yeah, and then one thing that I'll add to this whole puzzle, right, is like I personally we talked about last week briefly. I like to make sure that every day I do something for my mental health, physical health, and my financial health, right? And so as you're popping things onto these pages, right, make sure that you're outlining that. Make sure you're putting it down there. So you that's saying, right, I want to get more into life coaching, more of the psychology stuff, right? Make sure you're outlining, you know what, on Tuesday, I'm going to make sure to read an article about life coaching. I'm going to go read some sort of case study on life coaching, or I'm going to read an article on psychology. And now you're making sure that instead of just this, I want to do this, no, right here it says, I'm doing it. I have to do it. Right? Tuesday at 12 o'clock comes around. Oh, shit, there it is. And I got to do it. And so we're
Mhm.
actually making forward progress, right? We're taking all these just wants and desires and making them reality.
Yes, sir. I accept that challenge. Yes.
Love it, man. Love it.